Hey there, and welcome to GamePoints episode 118. This is our weekly little get-together. We talk about recent gaming news. I am, as always, your host, Stephen Brown, and join me today is...
I'm David. I
Tonight...
join him all the time.
Yeah, he joins me all the time. It could be a day when you're not here, and we just have to make do without you. Tonight...
You just have to make do.
Yeah. Tonight, we're going to go over the Nintendo Direct that happened a couple days ago. We have some information from a new studio starting up, made by some former Sony devs, and we're going to see how one tweet can kind of drive one noise even, can drive the internet crazy.
One syllable.
One syllable.
Yeah.
But first, David, before we get into any of that, I do want to address this whole David Cage Quantic Dream thing that's been going around the internet the past couple days. What do you know about what happened?
Well, for the longest time, I feel like we've already known that he is kind of difficult to work with.
Who?
David Cage.
Okay, let's be specific.
Okay, well, I feel like that's been a fairly common rumor that we've had over the last couple of years. Like it's David Cage, you know, he's got very demanding standards, and he wants his games to be as weird and wacky as exactly he wants them to be. You know, we talk about that.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes it works for him. Most of the time, it doesn't, in my opinion. But if you're talking about recently, there's been accusations made against him about inappropriate behavior, overworked staff, you know, all the classic bad stuff that dumb people do.
Yeah. The exact quote was schoolboy culture. Apparently 3 French newspapers came out with exposés saying, hey, they're photoshopping employees and compromising positions. They're telling all kinds of horrible sexist, racist jokes. He is just a general tyrant, working people over at hard hours with crunch and everything like that. This kind of blew up. Now, normally we would get more into depth with this, but unlike a lot of other situations where this thing's happened, Quantic Dream and David Cage themselves have come out and said, this has not happened. These pictures that we're seeing are the first time we've seen these pictures. And we categorically deny any wrongdoing on our end. So at the moment, until we get more information, it's kind of a they said scenario. We don't know what's true and what isn't, who might be lying, who may be having truth. And until we get more information on this story, and more information might be out there by the time you guys watch this. The next day could come around and all the proof in the world could come out. But as of right now, I do not feel comfortable going too deep into this story, because you have literally one side saying one thing and another side saying that's wrong and that they're lying.
And it's not like what's the classic move right now when there's an accusation where the side that was accused just goes completely quiet.
Yeah. Or goes, I'm sorry, I'm checking into rehab. I didn't do it, but I'm still going to go into counseling.
Apology or something like that. No, they're just saying, no, we didn't do that. This is a bold-faced lie.
There's a little bit more denial here. So until we get some more solid information beyond some anonymous sources or just what these papers have presented, I wanted to address it. I wanted to let everyone know, yeah, we know what's going on, but I'm not comfortable picking sides on the matter just yet. Sound reasonable?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
So we'll probably talk about it next week.
Yeah. Like I said, this is still a developing story. By the time this gets posted, we could have a video of David Cage fucking an elephant. But
interesting, but I don't know if that lines up with the accusations.
Yeah, well, he would have been doing it at work.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's inappropriate.
So
you should do that on your own time.
Yeah, we just don't really have anything solid at the moment yet. But let us know what you think down in the comments below. If you think that Quantic Dream is horrible, if you think that these French papers are kind of going on a limb here, by all means, make your opinion heard, either in chat if you're watching us live or in the YouTube comments down below.
Cool.
Anyways, just wanted to get that out of the way. David, why don't you go ahead and lead us off with is arguably the biggest story of last week.
Which is funny because it's a mini story in the fact that there was a Nintendo mini Direct this last week. Now, everyone's been waiting for the new Nintendo Direct to come out. Now, as some of you may know, maybe not everybody, Nintendo doesn't follow the normal rules when it comes to game companies and the way they announce information. They don't wait for E3. They don't even have a presence there. They don't have their own expo like PlayStation does. They have what's called Nintendo Directs, and they've been going in for quite a while, and it's weekly, sometimes it's monthly. They just come out and they say, here's what's new with Nintendo. Here's what we're doing for the next 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever. The Switch was revealed in a Nintendo Direct, and basically everything that was coming out for the Switch last year, we saw in that Direct, I think right at the beginning of the year, like the 16th of January, somewhere around there. And sure enough, right around the same week, we finally get this one. Everyone's been waiting for it so we can see what the Switch has coming this year, and we got some answers. Some of it's very exciting, some of it's okay, but it's interesting at least. So we can just dive in. Do you want to just jump back and forth?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and kick us off, and we'll go back and forth.
The World Ends With You, which is a pretty dang popular DS game, is getting a final remix version on the Switch, which has a new epilogue, new story content. This game is pretty damn stylish, and I think is going to look really good on Switch.
This is a Square game, so they love this final remixes, right? It's set in modern-day Akihabara. It was kind of a cult classic. It was big, but I wouldn't say huge, because if I recall, it kind of came out during the dying days of the DS. I could be wrong on that, but I'm not positive.
Well, it was a DS game.
Yeah,
not even a 3D. This is a DS game we're talking about.
It never really set things on fire, and I think it's because of the timing of it. But the people who played it loved it.
No, but it's pretty charming. I think like the art style is very interesting, and it was pretty cool. I think there was like an iOS version that came out and some other stuff.
I think you're right.
It's cool. Hey, I like the idea that they're going through their back catalog and saying what's going to be a good fit for the Switch, and they're just re-releasing stuff. A lot of people probably missed a bunch of DS games. Some people probably missed 3DS games. Like anyone who's been ignoring Nintendo for the last 6-7 years, which I know some people that have, I get it. It's a good idea to release some Wii U games, release some 3DS games so that people can actually play them.
We'll talk more about like the ports and re-releases later on in the Nintendo Direct segment here. Next bit of news that was announced there is Pokken Tournament DLC. Now, did you ever play Pokken Tournament, David? No, it just wasn't your bag.
No, I looked at it. It looked kind of interesting, but it was a Wii U game, so no. There's
going to be a lot of that. You're going to notice a running theme between. I didn't play it on Wii U, but I might now. So, anyways, Pokken Tournament DX Battle Pack is going to be giving immediate access to avatar items, and there are going to be 2 waves of DLC. It's going to contain 2 new battle Pokemon and 2 new Pokemon starter sets. It's essentially just more stuff for Pokken Tournament. Doesn't seem to be anything really meaty here, but it's a little bit of extra, and they did announce that.
That game still has a following, though. There's people that play tournaments in it, so.
Also, a little bit more information on Kirby All-Star Allies. They showed off some abilities for it. Looks like a very interesting platformer, and that should be coming March 16th, 2018, so a couple months from now.
Although I'm pretty sure Kirby All-Star Allies, much like the next game I'm going to mention, is a Wii U re-release.
No, Kirby All-Star Allies is not a re-release. You're thinking of Kirby Battle something.
Oh, Battle Arena.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's called. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, this is brand new. This is an actual honest-to-God Kirby platformer.
All right, well, this one is definitely coming out. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, because they got to get those final editions from the Wii U, is showing up on Switch in the spring. It combines Hyrule Warriors, Hyrule Legends, and the DLC from both games. So
I love a Musou game, so I kind of want to play this.
Yeah, Musou games, if you're uninitiated, are basically anything Koei Tecmo has made me recently. So, like the whole Dynasty Warriors series, the Samurai Warriors series. There was a Gundam Warrior. There's a. They also recently
did Berserk, Band of the Hawk, which looks really cool. I like Berserk, and Attack on Titan, both of which look really fun. Don't expect anything graphical powerhousey from them, but they do look fun. It's mindless.
Basically, it's mindless fun. You smash a button and you fight thousands of bad guys.
It's
a formula that's worked for years and years, and I don't see them slowing down with it anytime soon.
It's a refined version of Earth Defense Force.
All right. Get your EDF on.
Also coming out, they announced Mario Tennis Aces. Now, Mario Tennis has had a very rough history the past few games, so I'm kind of hoping this refreshes the well, kind of saves the IP, as it were. But Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, all those weird Mario sports games, they've all been pretty fun in the past.
Yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of hype in the video about Tennis Aces. I wasn't feeling it.
Well, I'm not this guy either.
That's fair. The next one, though, Ys 8, Lacrimosa, coming to Switch is exciting. Ys 8 did come out a while ago for PC, PS4, Xbox. And I like the Ys games. I think they're very fun. I think they have a good combat system for an RPG. I mean, I guess they're an action RPG, but I like the Ys games, and I think it's a really damn good fit for Switch.
Uh-oh. Looks like you're breaking up there a little bit, David.
Game and it's not graphically.
Looks like we had a little bit of internet connection there.
We had a little bit of an internet connection.
Yeah, a little bit of internet connection issue, I should say. Sorry, I'm trying to read things at the same time to make sure everything's keeping from crashing.
No, it's fine. I was just saying that a lot of people are excited for pretty much anything to come out on Switch because Switch is fun to play things on. So Ys 8's a really damn good fit.
Yeah, no, I also think this is the first time an Ys game has been on the Switch since Ys 3 on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, on a Nintendo platform?
Yeah. So that's interesting to see it coming back home. We also have, from the Nintendo Direct, a Super Mario Odyssey update. Luigi's Balloon World, essentially, is going to be coming out in February, and there's going to be 2 modes, which are quasi-multiplayer. In one mode, it's called Hide It. You got 30 seconds to go hide a bunch of balloons through the world, and then another player tracks them down. And the second mode is Fight It, which is, well, the other player side of things. You go track them down. As far as Super Mario Odyssey DLC, I was kind of hoping for more. I know this is free, so I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth or anything like that, but I want them to be releasing new worlds.
I gotcha. Just whole new levels.
Yeah, I would spend like $20 for an extra 2 worlds, or even 1 world, with how massive and how packed of stuff they are.
Here's another 100 moons.
Yeah, something like that. I would totally be down for that. And don't give me something like the end of that game where it's like a bunch of weird boss rushes and stuff.
Gotcha. Also announced SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. This is basically a King of Fighters game, except for it's only starring the ladies from the franchise. It runs on the King of Fighters 14 engine. It's got a kind of quick tag system where you can tag out mid-combo, and it's coming out in the summer. You can dress up your characters and all that fun stuff if you want to.
Also, rounding out the Nintendo Direct, we have a couple more things. Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle is getting Donkey Kong DLC. Still have yet to play Mario & Rabbids. It's on the list, though. That's the XCOM meets Mario meets Rabbids game. I know that sounds like a weird combination of things, but apparently it's legitimately good. And also, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is coming out May 4th. Now, Tropical Freeze apparently is an extremely good platformer, so I'll probably finally play this, which brings me to the point I was saying we're going to hold off on. A lot of Wii U ports are coming to the Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo's getting some shit over it. But my opinion,
it's a little scary because people are worried. Okay, you had a good first year. Now is this just a port machine? Like, I think the fear is that they're rapidly going to turn the Switch into the Vita. Because if you think of the Vita, all it does is it gets like niche JRPGs ported to it.
Right.
That's all it does. And if the Switch just keeps getting all these games that are years old, that yes, admittedly some people haven't played, and now you can play it portable and you can play it on your TV. If it was a mobile game, that's cool. But people still want new IPs or new games in established IPs from Nintendo.
And I understand that point of view. I think it's a little premature to necessarily judge the Switch on that. Additionally, no one fucking played the Wii U. So I am excited to get all these Wii U games back on the Switch.
I didn't play Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I'm totally going to buy that.
Yeah, same here. Apparently it's really good. And I am fine with them bringing over all their Wii U games that didn't sell for shit. And I think Nintendo knows they fucked up on the Wii U. So they're kind of they're kind of using the Switch as a do-over.
Man, I will happily say that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is one of the best Switch games, and that is a Wii U port.
Yeah. That said, 6 months from now, if they're still only announcing ports, we got a problem.
Yep.
David, why don't you go ahead and mention the last game from the Nintendo Direct? Because
the final game on the Direct was something that there was rumors that it might happen, and then we decided that it wasn't going to happen, and then it happened anyway. We got a teaser trailer for Dark Souls Remastered on Switch and Xbox One and PC and PS4. But no, it's on Switch. That's what the trailer said. I'm stoked for this. I'm going to have to buy it probably a couple more times. The idea of taking Dark Souls with me and playing it with friends sounds pretty rad. But more importantly, on PS4 Pro, Xbox One X, and PC, the remastered version of Dark Souls will have upscaled 4K resolution and a 60 FPS frame rate.
That right there is big, especially in a Souls game.
No. In Dark Souls 1, Now, I'm talking specifically PC, because when that game was ported to PC, it is buggy and choppy as hell. You get a ton of frame drops, and it was only really playable if you put in like the DS fix and a couple other mods so that you could actually like make a party with a friend and play through the game and not lag out. Like, it needed some help. So
Yeah.
that game running fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna get that.
No, awesome. I'm glad to see that happening. Do you think that there's any chance? Well, probably not. I was about to say, did Dark Souls 2 release at 60 frames a second, or was that also 30?
I think it was 30.
I mean, there's no reason why they wouldn't go back and do it to 2 then as well, because I think 3 does run at 60. I'm not positive on that.
At least on PC.
Yeah, I played it on PC, not on console, so I can be certain. But yeah, for being a mini direct, there was a lot of shit here.
Yeah, and it was like 4 minutes long.
Yeah, it was like 15. There will be links in the description down below if you guys want to go check that out. One thing to keep in mind, David, is that apparently, and I haven't verified this independently, but this is kind of something that's a buzz on the internet right now, is that after every Nintendo Mini Direct, Nintendo always offers a full-size Direct 3 weeks later.
Okay.
So the hype machine has already kicked in again. I think that a lot of Nintendo fans set themselves up for a fall when they do this. Because remember, this was supposed to be like, oh my god, new Mario Smash Brothers announced, and we're going to have a full-on Pokemon game announced here. And while we got a lot, it was a lot of ports. I think Nintendo fans are very subject to overhype. And I don't mean that...
That's always been true.
Yeah, I don't mean that disparagingly, by the way. That's not necessarily that's not a bad thing. It's just... There's a reason why people get so upset with these directs sometimes. It's because they oversell them. And it's not Nintendo that's overselling them. Nintendo is very clear on, like, I remember... Oh, what game? I think it was ARMS. I remember there was, like, an ARMS Direct a couple months ago, like right before ARMS came out, this time last year. And they said, all right, here's an ARMS card coming up. This is going only to be about ARMS. And people kept going, oh, I bet they're going to announce Super Smash Brothers, or I bet there's going to be Metroid Prime 4 stuff. It's like, no, they told you what they're going to give you.
Yeah.
Nintendo is not a company that does the, oh, and one more thing, and it goes off the script like you always see at E3. They don't do that.
Also, just to point out, I know we sound a little negative sometimes, and if you watch our videos from like a year ago, I'm sure we sound super jaded on Nintendo. But we do actually want the best for them. Or I guess for us in general. And one of the things we said, even before the Switch came out, we both thought, man, I don't think this is going to work. We're worried about how they're going to implement it. But we both really wanted it to succeed.
And it has. Oh, boy, it
has.
Yeah.
But now they need to actually keep an amount of momentum or, put their creative efforts into keeping us interested. Besides just releasing more and more Breath of the Wild and Odyssey DLC.
Right.
Which, don't get me wrong, I'm still into that, but...
Yeah, no, I agree. I hope they keep the momentum going. I'm kind of thinking that this time of ports is them biding time to get their next wave of big releases ready.
Yeah.
So we're not ready yet, so let's have a couple months of Wii U ports, and then bam, we're going to get a next wave. And if that 3 weeks rumor pans out, we might hear about those games sometime in February.
Incoming Twilight Princess.
Anyways, that does it for the Nintendo Direct. Let's go ahead and move on to the rest of the news of the week, starting with the fact that the upcoming adventure set in American folklore game, it's kind of really hard to describe what this game is. It looks like kind of a Telltale game almost, but better, in my opinion. The game is called Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, added a new character to their roster. Sting.
Sting?
Yes, that's right. The wrestler is... No, it's the musician, Sting. You've seen him in great hits like Dune and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. I know you've seen him before. He is going to be playing a character called the Wolf in Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. Apparently, the game is going to be about traveling and sharing stories, made by Dim Bulb Games, and the studio is run by people who made Gone Home, or rather, co-founder of the Gone Home developer, Fulbright. You have the trailer playing here, and you can find the article over on Eurogamer that I got this from. You'll notice a lot of Telltale voice talent in this trailer, which is why I keep comparing it to Telltale games. Dave Fennoy, you saw earlier, Kimberly Brooks, who was Ashley Williams from Mass Effect, Melissa Hutchison, Clementine, of course. Cissy Jones here is from Firewatch, And, of course, well, Sting as this wolf character. I am very intrigued as to what this game is. I like the idea that it's American folklore, because you really don't see too many games touching on that. But
our lore is not that popular.
Yeah, well, I'm curious. Are they going to go like Johnny Appleseed, like really cheeseball American lore, or are they going to get like really obscure?
Who knows? Alternate history? I'm down for alternate history.
I don't think it's going to be alternate history. I think it's going to be kind of like a quasi. My gut tells me think like any tale or movie that you've seen about a family moving from the east out west. But I think they're going to add like a bunch of supernatural elements in, but not like scary ghosts and zombies, but more like spirituality. That's the vibe I get from this entire trailer. Like supernatural beings letting you discover who you are. Just a theory. Either way, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm digging the art style, I'm digging the setting, and the voice cast is fucking amazing. It's just weird that Sting is in it.
Yeah, why not?
Like
he can do what he wants.
Well, he's a British guy in an American folklore tale.
Oh, that doesn't matter. They use American actors for literally everyone ever. It doesn't matter.
Apparently it does. Just saying.
All right, yeah, that's fair.
Apparently it absolutely does.
Okay, so to consumers, it matters, but to the developers, they don't give a shit. They will use anybody for anything.
That's my stance. If the guy's good at it, go for it. And Sting's act, I actually like Sting. I like his music, and I like the shit he's done.
Interesting. That's a bold take. Anyway, let's talk about something else.
What? What do you have against Roxanne?
4 years and a month ago, the CD Projekt Red team, their actual Cyberpunk Twitter, had its last tweet. And it was talking about how the Cyberpunk 2077 teaser trailer won Machinima's Inside Gaming Award for Best Trailer of 2013. That is the last time we've heard anything about this game. Witcher 3 came out. It's got a huge hype and like follow-up. Like people want to know, when is Cyberpunk coming out? What's going on? Well, we didn't get an answer, but there was finally movement on this Twitter account. On January 10th, the Cyberpunk game Twitter tweeted the word beep, surrounded by asterisks.
And almost 50,000 likes later, that's still the only thing that's on there.
18,000 times.
So,
because they waited 4 years and a month and made one tweet.
Yeah.
Just basically to remind everyone that they were still here, which means the hype train started running. Everyone went insane. Rumor mill's going again. They're like, oh man, guaranteed announcement. They're going to say something soon about this game that we've been waiting for.
The current rumor is it's going to be at E3 2018, so a couple months from now. I like CD Projekt Red. I like a lot of what they do. And remember, they did say, for the most part, you are not going to hear anything else about this game until we are ready.
It's true.
So
but we didn't hear shit. They beeped at us.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that just shows how people are excited for this game. I mean, fucking 50,000 retweets on a word beep.
Yeah, that's insane.
Or not retweets, likes. 20,000... 18, 20... Let me bring that up again.
20,000 is close enough. It's 18.
Yeah, 18,000 retweets on the word beep. So, yeah, the hype train is real. I have been looking forward to this game for a long time. I remember they did that quick little 30-second teaser trailer with a bunch of still images.
Yeah, that's all we saw.
Yeah.
And it was enough.
I'm looking forward to it.
Mainly because Witcher 3 and the CD Projekt Red team is so damn good.
Yeah.
Everyone's just crazy hyped. And even if the game's not amazing at launch, willing to bet that those guys, like that team, will work day and night to make that game amazing.
Well, The Witcher 3 was amazing at launch. And you compare that to, say, anything that Bethesda does lately, and it's all massive buggy mess, equally big, but massively buggy mess.
But, like, think of all the DLC they added.
Yeah, for free. Just here's a bunch of shit for free. Now you have your 2 big expansion packs, but these are like expansion packs of the late 90s, early 2000s, where it's like, yeah, you're going to spend 15, 20, 30 bucks on it, but it is going to be 20 hours of content.
Hours of content, yeah.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red gets it. And I am extremely excited for more Cyberpunk. Let us know what you think down in chat or comments before, of course. Let us know what your hype level is for Cyberpunk, or if you even care about it at all. I know there are some people who hate CD Projekt Red. They do have some controversy in the past, apparently dealing with... I don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but they have done something in the past that has pissed people off, and it's just not clicking in my head.
I don't know. See, people don't like Witcher for some reason.
Yeah. While we're on the topic of studios, a new one has started up. Wushu Studios has Wushu Studios, a team made up by former MotorStorm and Drive Club leads, essentially announced that, hey, we've gotten together, we've made a new studio, and we're working on a science fiction genre IP.
Yes, you heard that right, folks. The AAA developers behind the popular MotorStorm and Drive Club franchises are now working on a new sci-fi IP.
Now, from their official press release, I'm just going to be reading here. Quote, "We're pleased to reveal Wushu Studios, a brand new independent game development studio based in Liverpool's high-tech creative quarter, the Baltic Triangle. Founded in August 2017, the team is held by veteran AAA developers behind the popular MotorStorm and Drive Club franchises, as well as fresh talent from around the world. Leadership is comprised of studio founder Alan McDermott, former of Evolution Studios PlayStation, design director Nigel Kershaw, former Evolution Studios, PlayStation, Deep Silver, Revolution Software, and art director Stuart Trevor, former Evolution Studios, PlayStation. While we're not quite ready to talk about our new game in detail just yet, we confirm that prototyping began in September 2017 using the Unreal 4 engine, and it's a brand new IP with a tantalizing and unexpected take on the science fiction genre." Okay. Keep in mind that so far these guys have really only worked on racing games. Evolution was closed by Sony back in 2016, and they did, MotorStorm, Drive Club, and you also might remember them from World Rally Extreme. All those PlayStation 2 games.
Although the design director did work
the
on
C-level
some other stuff.
PS2 games.
He did work for Deep Silver, so he did some other work.
I don't know what games he worked on specifically.
I'm just going to say this: it could be amazing. I am super happy for any new IP, no matter what it is. $10 says it has cars in it that you can drive.
I hope not. I hope it's not a racing game at all. I'm fine.
I don't even mean it's a racing game. I think it's like whatever they make it, there's something you can drive in that shit.
Fair enough. I just don't want it to be a futuristic racing game, because there are two futuristic racing games that I only care about.
Sequels to?
Yeah, and that's Wipeout and F-Zero. I don't need a third one, unfortunately. So until those get remade, I don't need yet another one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Next story.
I guess we can move on. Let's talk about that cool thing that happened last week where the game's done quick week. Did you catch that? I
caught a good chunk of it, actually. I specifically saw the Dragon Warrior speed run, and that was insane because Dragon Warrior, an old Nintendo game, old JRPG, it runs on a random number generator, but these guys were able to predict what software... If you don't know, a random number generator really isn't random.
Nope.
What it does is it uses certain parameters in the game, like the seconds clock, or how many steps you've taken, or what hex you happen to be in, or what flash of the screen in the corner is going on. Sometimes, if you slow a game down, you can see the numbers flashing in the corner. That's actually the number that is added to the random number generator. This guy who was speedrunning Dragon Warrior, and other people, I assume, as well, figured out what monsters were going to be popping up when, how long you had to pause, and that run is insane. For example, people were like, okay, I got to take 2 steps south, and then 1 step left, and then 1 step right. Now I exit the stairs, and to confirm that I did this right, the 2 women, one will go down twice, and one will go east and down once. Okay, that means I have it confirmed. And he has to follow an exact path. Because if he takes 1 step off, and he doesn't pause for like 1 second here or there, it throws the entire random number generator off.
Yeah, that's just insane.
So he'll be like, okay, I'm going to go up 5 steps. I'm going to pause for 2 beats here. Okay, 1, 2. Now I'm going to take a left. Now I'm going to fight a slime. And then a fucking metal slime pops right up. He's like, that metal slimes you can't hit in one, so I have to skip. I have to wait. I have to wait. I have to wait. I have to wait. Okay, now I'll hit this because it's guaranteed to be a crit. Fucking critical hits it. And he did this the entire run. To where even if one thing is off, the entire run is fucked.
Speaking of runs that could have been easily fucked, did you see the Resident Evil 7 run?
Oh, yeah. No, I saw that.
The fact that he played a fully new game, not New Game Plus, on Madhouse, where like item locations are randomized and things hit you real fucking hard, was really impressive because things just changed up on him and he had to like respond on the fly and like almost died a couple times.
He did die a couple times actually.
Okay, yeah.
Toward the end, he got cold clocked at least once when he was playing me on the ship.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. Anyway, they wrapped up for the week, and their total donation count, if you don't know, they are there for donations. Everything goes to, I believe, cancer research for Games Done Quick.
The Prevention Cancer Foundation, or Prevent Cancer Foundation, is the exact.
Thank you. I knew the foundation had a name. I just knew it was cancer related. But they raised a grand total of $2.2 million.
Yeah, it's the highest they've done so far. This thing except for 1 year, I believe they always increase.
Broke $2 million last year, but I don't think they hit like 2.2 last year.
I think they hit 2.24. But
Gotcha.
I can find out for you real quick. Let me look that up while you keep going.
The max donation was $108,000, and on average, they got about $51 a person that donated.
I tried to find out who donated that.
You know, a ton of people just threw in like $1 or $5 or something, and the fact the average was $50 says a lot.
Yeah. Let's see. This year they did 2.268 according to the Wikipedia page here, but the AGDQ thing is 2.28, so maybe final total 2.28. Last year they did 2.22.
Cool. Awesome. And for something that's really fun to watch, you can go check all these things out. You can usually find them again on Twitch or on YouTube or wherever you want to go.
Yeah,
and watch some of these super rad speedruns and people that just completely break games in amazing ways.
Yeah, some of them are so insane. I also like watching the bad game block, the games that are already fucking broken beyond repair.
Mm-hmm.
Like I watched someone do an Arabian Nights, I think it was, and God, is that a dumpster fire.
I also like the fact that there's games that are super old that they're still finding new shortcuts on. Like Chrono Trigger has been played to death by a million people. It's one of the longer quick games because it still takes hours and hours to beat. If you're going for a
full clear. I mean, you could technically beat that in like 7 minutes, right?
But they still find crazy stuff in those games all the time, and they found new stuff last year. They found new stuff this year for all these different games.
Another highlight while we're on this topic. Did you know who the Mexican Runner is?
No.
I believe...
Wait, is that the bus game?
No. The Mexican Runner is a speedrunner. He's called the Mexican Runner. You're thinking Desert Bus, and that was on Penn and Teller's Smoke and Mirrors. No, the Mexican Runner is a speedrunner here on Twitch. And he, I want to say he recently just completed a challenge where he played every Nintendo game.
Damn.
Every single one of them completed. But he did Battletoads on Awesome Games Done Quick this year. And you know the stages when you hop on the jet bike and you have to go through the very fast oncoming obstacles? He did that blindfolded.
Ha!
Now, it took him a couple tries. He did get killed a couple times, but he fucking did that entire thing blindfolded.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah, it's insane. They should be back again over the summer. They do it twice a year, and I'll be sure to take a look at it. Also, another highlight, I'd recommend taking a look at the Breath of the Wild run. Took 3.5 hours, but it was all main quests. So, that was timed very well. All right, we're going to move on to our last story here. A couple weeks ago, David, I think this happened before we went on break. We talked about how this asshole swatter ended up finally getting someone killed.
Yep.
And we've been saying this is going to fucking happen. Something needs to be done about it. And sure enough, someone finally fucking got killed from a swatting. I don't even like to call it prank. Because it's not a fucking prank.
It's definitely not a fucking prank.
A prank is putting plastic wrap on the toilet seat. This is fucking criminal. And this son of a bitch was unrepentant about it on Twitter. He's like, I'm not the one who pulled the fucking trigger. Well, turns out he has been arrested and he is going to be charged with involuntary manslaughter. Thank fucking Christ. This article is via Kotaku from our boy Jason Schreier, who we give more free publicity to than anyone else on this show. Headline, man arrested for swatting call that led to murder charges of involuntary manslaughter. And then going on in the article itself here. 25-year-old Tyler Barris was charged today in Kansas for involuntary manslaughter and 2 other counts in the wake of a swatting call that led police to kill an unarmed 28-year-old at his home. The maximum sentence varies, but if found guilty, Barris could face a hefty fine and years in prison. Police say that Barris had called the police to report a hostage situation, telling officers on December 28, 2017, that he had his family at gunpoint and had doused the house with gasoline. He then gave them an address for 28-year-old Andrew Finch, who was shot and killed by an officer when he answered the door. Barris was also charged with giving false alarm and interference with law enforcement. His bond is set at $500,000. Fuck this man. I have never wanted the full force of the law to land on someone harder than I did this guy right now.
Yeah, fuck this guy. He's a piece of shit. So is anyone else who does this. Fuck
yeah,
you.
swatting is fucking horrible. We do need better training for police officers. I'm not going to say that the police department is completely guilty there.
This shit shouldn't have fucking happened, but they shouldn't have been sent there in the first place.
Yeah. I'm not going to be the kind of person that blames the cops fully for this. There are a lot of people saying, well, the fucking cops should have checked that. It's like, nah, you're told the guy has people hostage and he's ready to fucking execute people out the gate. You're going in assuming that's true. What we need is a way to verify that that's actually what's going on. We need to be able to do more due diligence, and we need to have police departments aware that there are assholes out here who do this shit.
Yeah,
so,
that's a problem.
This is a problem with streamers. A lot of streamers do get swatted. If you are a big-time streamer on Twitch, I highly suggest you contact your local police department and say, hey, I'm a streamer. In case you don't know, there's this thing called swatting. I am letting you know that on my address, this is what's going on. And so that at least they have some kind of record. So if you get fucking swatted, hopefully somewhere someone took a note that's tied to that address going, this could be a prank. Let's proceed with just a little bit more caution.
Or if you piss somebody off on the internet, call the police and say, hey, I fucked up on the internet, and this kid's probably going to try and get you to come to my house and shoot me.
Yeah. I'm not blaming anyone here other than fucking Tyler Barris here, but we could all take a little bit of an extra precaution to prevent shit like this from happening.
I blame the trigger happy dude a little bit, because...
the guy had... So, if you read the details of the story, it's you might be a little bit more sympathetic to the cop, because apparently the guy put his hands up, and he kept putting his hands down to pull up his pants. But remember, you're a cop. You told this guy has already killed one person, has hostages in the house, and has the house wired to go up in flames. Mm-hmm. So he starts putting his hand down to his waistband. So
But you could also have told him to put his hands up and then asked him to spin around, and if his pants constantly falling down, you'd be pretty sure that he doesn't have a gun.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Get into that argument.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I understand what you're going
to. Piece of shit.
Fuck that guy, though. That's why I don't want to get derailed on. I want to keep the blame on the person that's to fucking blame here. This Barris kid. And I believe the people who hired him. I think this guy's actually the hire. I want to say there was someone else who hired him to do it.
He's just the guy that made the phone call. This doesn't even go to like the two kids that were playing Call of Duty in the first place.
Yeah.
One of them who gave out this address, the other of whom hired this guy.
Yeah, fuck all of them.
Yep.
But that said, I hope we can actually finally have a conversation amongst police departments of like, hey, swatting's a fucking thing. Because you know how many police departments don't know what swatting is? A disturbingly high amount.
It just happens. They just show up.
Anyways,
eat up because of crazy ass phone calls they're getting.
I want this little fucker to get the maximum extent of law, and we shouldn't even be calling him a kid. He's 25. He's a fucking adult. Anyways, I hope the law lands on this little piece of shit with both feet. And I want the harshest maximum sentence possible as a deterrent to keep other people from doing it. That said, this is still going to happen. But the reason why you hand out severe punishment is to deter other people from doing it again. And this is a problem that has gone on in the gaming community for far too fucking long. But David.
Yo, that was a huge bummer. Remember
the swift sword.
Talk about this?
The swift sword of justice takes months and years to even accomplish.
Oh God, you're really gonna fucking.
But if I need something right now to keep me occupied, what could I play?
Damn it. Well, I guess that horrible transition leads us into new releases. So let's just talk about them. This fucking guy. Coming out this week.
Hey, I'm impressed I made that work.
We have Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. This is like the big damn fix for Street Fighter V. Hopefully, finally making that game goddamn playable. I know some people says it is already, but I
root so hard for Capcom. I like legitimately root hard for Capcom. They're like the anti-Konami to me. Like I want to see Konami burn, but I want Capcom to do good. I'm actually
kind of stoked for this because like the day one patch for the arcade edition is like 21 gigs. This game has a lot of new stuff being fixed from what Street Fighter V launched as. Because the launch of Street Fighter V was disappointing to me, to say the least.
Yeah, and to a lot of people.
And hopefully this will resolve pretty much all my frustrations from a year ago. And right now, Capcom is cloud fucking 9 to me. They're doing great. When they said Monster Hunter is going to have no loot boxes because they say that ruins the core gameplay loop, I said, thank you. You're my friends.
Yeah. While on the topic of Capcom, by the way, this is kind of an aside, but did you hear that all their Resident Evil sites have changed their logo suddenly? The Resident Evil Twitter, the Resident Evil Facebook, they've all changed their logo from what it was on there to like a black and white mansion with Resident Evil in red text. So we don't know if this is just a visual upgrade, if they're trying new things, or if they're on the verge of announcing some new news related to Resident Evil.
Who knows?
I want to say their 30th anniversary is this year. Let me check that real quick.
Isn't the RE2 remake supposed to come out eventually?
That's what the hot rumor is right now. And Resident Evil launched March 22nd, 1996, so a couple months would be its anniversary. Not its 30th anniversary, but it would be its anniversary soon. 30th? 20th?
If it came out in 96.
22nd anniversary.
Like, that's just...
But yeah, Resident Evil 2 Remake is still technically happening, and now since there was activity on all those accounts, people think that we might be getting some news soon.
Yeah. Well, that's not coming out this week, but Street Fighter is, which is somehow related to what the hell we're talking about.
Hey, you know what? Before we move on to that, Resident Evil 2 came out January 21st, 1998. So it's Resident Evil 2's 20th anniversary.
Okay, that's a much bigger deal.
Yeah. So we might next week be talking about that.
Cool. I'm stoked for that. Also coming out this week, Steam Early Access launch for Forge Battalion hit. This is like the new... Or actually, no. Team 17 didn't actually make it. They just published it.
No, they're publishing it. Petroglyph made it. These are the guys that did Empire at War. They did Grey Goo.
Gotcha.
They're RTS guys.
I thought this was a Team 17 game for whatever reason. Well, probably because I just only read that. But it's a like strategy indie RTS game made by these guys that have made some pretty fun games before. So take a look at it if you need to get some stuff. I think you actually make your faction. That's kind of the big thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
It looks aight. It's an RTS game.
Yeah, I mean it's early access, so just be aware.
Take that with a grain of salt. We don't normally recommend early access games as a general rule. But
if it wasn't Petroglyph, which I have a like fond place in my heart for, I wouldn't have mentioned it.
Yep. Also coming out this week, Hyper Universe. Wait, Hyper Universe came out last year. Why are we talking about it now?
It was on the list, man.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a game from August 23rd, 2017, made by a bunch of people that no one really cares about, and it's a side-scrolling action MOBA brawler. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Maybe it's coming to console. Maybe I have the wrong thing written down on there. Oh, no, early access. It could be coming out of early access.
Oh, it's finally going to release. Anyway, it's $16. It's got somewhat positive reviews on it.
It looks like garbage. Don't get it. I just literally put it on here because there's nothing else coming out this week.
Yeah, next week is when things start happening. So this week, yes, is slow. Sorry. If you're ignoring us, you could be playing the Dragon Ball Fighters beta. That's still happening, I think, until like 9 a.m. tomorrow. Finally, we get a Switch port this week for Darkest Dungeon.
An amazing game. That
like
sounds like it's
gonna for the rest of this year a really good fit for Switch.
Yeah, I might have to pick that up for Switch. That sounds like an amazing fit for the Switch.
Mm-hmm. If you have no idea what Darkest Dungeon is, it is a roguelike turn-based RPG that's very what's the
Lovecraftian?
Lovecraftian. That is actually the word I wanted. And your characters are gonna die. constantly, unless you're somehow magic and keep a damn party alive.
Don't treat this like an RPG where you want to preserve every single character. Treat your characters like another resource like gold or mana or iron or whatever game you have, because they are going to get ground up and spit out.
And you're going to need more people and more people. And as they go through the dungeon, they get deeper and deeper. Not only do they have to worry about all the stuff that's fighting them and losing health, but they're fighting things that are just horrific, and they get stressed out, and they can get diseased, and there's like a darkness that's surrounding them. So your dudes can literally just stress out and panic.
Hell, they can have a heart attack mid-dungeon and die.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. Some
dungeon.
call it the darkest. Yeah, I was getting there. Anyway, also coming out this week for 3DS, Kirby Battle Royale.
Anyways,
I don't need to.
It's Kirby. Kirby Battle Royale. It's 3DS.
It's Kirby.
If you're a fan of the series, you know what it is.
Get your Kirby on.
I think that wraps things up for this week, by the way, David. News is still kind of fresh and slow.
Clean?
Yeah. Fresh isn't the right word. What I meant is few and little. We're kind of still grasping for straws right now.
You are.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it. We're ending about 15 minutes early, but hey, I don't want to pad the show into 15 minutes because it's just me babbling about absolutely nothing and repeating the same thing over and over again. And I'm trying to have a more streamlined show, David. I'm trying to keep that from happening.
Oh, let me know when you start that.
Yeah, I absolutely will. Anyways, this has been GamePoints 118. We do stream live here on Twitch TV/GamePoints every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And please feel free to join in the chat. We do try to adjust you when we can if you are in there. If you can't watch us live, however, you can watch us on YouTube. Just type in GamePoints one word. We pop right up. And also comment down there. We want to know what you guys think about the topics we covered today. Or if you have any things you wanted to mention for us to discuss next show, you can also do that too. You can follow the show at GamePoints PC on Twitter. You can follow myself at CapitalistPig21. And you can follow David Smith over there at Palshife_Satori. If you wanna. Once again, this has been GamePoints episode 118. And until next Monday, we're out of here.